Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. I'm a couple of days late on the What Sold video, but this weekend, well, yesterday, in fact, was my youngest son's first birthday. So we were celebrating all weekend. We had his party on Saturday and celebrated with him some yesterday. So it's been pretty busy. But I am here today for the What Sold video. So this was the first week of September, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. We did really well. We made more money and more profit in the first week of September than any other week all year. So I'm so excited for that. All right, let's dive into what sold. All right, on Poshmark, we sold a pair of Not Your Daughter jeans, boot cut for petite. That is a smaller size, both being a 4 and a petite, but they did sell for $23. With jeans in general, right now, I'm only picking up jeans if they are boot cut or straight legged or flare, something like that. I'm not really picking up any skinny. This cute little pair of Nike baby tennis shoes. It was funny because we were looking for these for my son the other day, because they still fit him, but I had put them up on Poshmark and I'd forgotten about it. And we were looking all over the house so that we could put these on them. And then I realized when they sold, I was like, that's where they are. Okay, they just sold. And they sold for $22. This was the crazy popular Hello Kitty Lovey. I think I might have mentioned it when I listed it that I didn't know that it was worth anything. I picked it up on a children's consignment sale. It was brand new and I had spent $2.50 for it. They had marked it $5 and then half off if it made it to the last day. And so I paid $2.50 and all over eBay I looked, Poshmark, and I didn't see. I think maybe I found one or something that was pre-owned of this that had sold, but it was, I guess, pretty rare. It was an older item and for maybe about like 10 years ago. And people had them listed, even used and like a little different than this for really high. So I listed it at 30 and I didn't send any offers for this. And then finally someone sent me an offer for 27. And I was like, that's fine. It's close enough. And I hate how much Poshmark takes in fees, but it is what it is. So I ended up getting 21.60, but of course we say $4 cost of goods, but I was still happy with that, seeing as how I only spent 250 on it. Next was this Betsy Johnson dress. This was new with tags. I had gotten this from Goodwill for like $5. It sold for 27. This was just a little bubble hem skirt that I had from college. It sold for $8. I was so weirded out by this sale. This was a Ralph Lauren teddy bear. I could not find any like this anywhere on the internet. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I looked for like months and months to see if I could find this exact one, and I never could. Some other Ralph Lauren teddy bears were selling for like 20, $30. No one bit on this, and he was listed for over a year. Finally, he sold for $8 the other day, which means I profited $1.05. Not great. This was a super cute pair of overalls by Okie Dokie. They're from like the 90s probably, and they were like stiff, like they'd never been worn. So they were in almost brand new condition. I kind of started to regret it because that's what my oldest son wears now as a two toddler, and I kind of thought it would be really cute to get him a picture of him in these. But my son's also crazy and a toddler and would probably mess them up and spill ketchup on them or something, and they wouldn't be worth as much. So I just went ahead and listed them, and they did sell for $28. Next were these Crocs. I had bought these Crocs for my husband, and with the idea of I'll take them home. If they don't fit, I'll return them. I'm super bad about returning stuff. I spent 30 on them, and they also had been listed for about a year. They sold for $24, which I only earned 19.20. So I did lose money on them, but it was just a mistake on my part of not returning them to the store when I had the chance. Then this was a recent pickup, these American Eagle flare jeans. They were size 8 and they sold for $21. There was one Barbie sale that I made this week. It was a Y2K Halloween masquerade party Barbie. The box was torn up, but she still sold for $20. And I'm sure that in large part is due to her being Halloween and it being almost October. This was one of my childhood Barbies. I did sell two of my Barbie collection, $2 for my Barbie collection this week. This was a clearance room pickup from my local consignment store. I paid $2 for it, and it sold the same week I posted it. It was a Vineyard Vines men's silk bow tie, and it sold for $17. Next was a bundle, and I like never sell bundles on Poshmark. This was a pair of vintage, the wash was vintage. Boyfriend jeans, size 14, and then a loft blouse. I sent an offer for, they would have normally been 50. I sent an offer for, was it 45? 45. So I only took $5 off and she accepted. But yet again, the high Poshmark fees, they took $9. I was still happy with a $45 sale from two items. Heck yeah. And then lastly was also a very new pickup, the Lucky Brand plus size 18W bootcut jeans. If you remember when I did the haul video from Goodwill, I had mentioned that I had just sold the Georgia bootcut jeans for like 30 something, and these sold super quickly as well. These sold for $25. All right, so that was everything from Poshmark, and in total on Poshmark, we made a profit of $177.30. Now moving on to eBay. We sold a three pair pack of women's underwear. These sold for $22.50 plus shipping. This is actually something that I would kind of like to do a little more research on, because these are things that like family members have given to me where they're like, oh, I bought these and just never, I got the wrong style, or I picked these up and I thought they looked like they'd be big enough, but they're not gonna fit, whatever. And like you can get things like this for like $5 to $10 at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Gabe's, what is it, Burke's, but I think they recently changed their name to like Beals, Ross. I just went into Burlington for the first time today, and that looked a lot like Ross, so I'm guessing you could probably get that kind of stuff there too. And like a lot of times they'll clearance things like this down. These were just an extra large. These weren't even plus size, and I guarantee you had they been plus size, they would have sold even quicker. I'd only had these listed for like maybe a couple weeks, and they sold for $22.50. Then this was also a new pickup, but they were damaged and I didn't realize it. When I did the haul video, I was like super excited for these because they were plus size, Lauren Ralph Lauren, dressier pant. But then when I think I went to photograph them though, and I noticed that they had like a couple little dots at the bottom of one pant leg and a little slice in the fabric. So what I did, I wanted to kind of test this out. I put, as you can see here, in the title, damaged. And I added that to every place I listed it, Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. And I noted, of course, the flaws in photographs, and I noted it in the listings, and I mentioned that the flaws were also photographed. That way, no one can come and say they didn't know. And so I accepted a super low offer. Normally, I would just redonate it, that kind of stuff, but because it was plus size, it was something that someone could probably mend up, or would be, I mean, at the bottom of their leg, who's going to really look down there at your pants to see if there's like a little slit in the fabric. And that it was a good brand. I just wanted to give it a try to see if something like that would sell so I wouldn't be out all of my money. And I made 938. Well, I made 938 minus $4 cost of good. I made money though. That's that was important. This Torah dress, which had been listed for a while, this sold for 27. This was something that I recently relisted. So I was going through some of my dresses, which I originally just had in a big plastic container, like a Sterilite bin, and I was putting them into the envelope system that I have, and I was going through them and relisting things that had been up there since earlier this year, and then it sold for $27. Sometimes relisting is just a really good way that you can refresh some of your inventory. This was a Torrid pencil skirt. This was new with tags. I think this was also something I recently relisted, or maybe that I recently listed. This sold for $25.20. That's super surprising to me because I can never usually sell skirts, I feel like. This was sold, as you can see, with a 10% discount promotion I was running in my store. This Victoria's Secret top that I'd had since college sold for $14. Not anything I'd probably pick up again though, because I've had a couple of these in the past and they just sit. I don't know why. I always thought it was a neat feature to have a built-in bra in your shirt, but I have a hard time selling them. This was a pair of, they weren't linen, but they kind of felt like it. They were like a gauzy type of wide leg pant. This was like a little experiment I did one day when I used to go to Goodwill like a few times a week, and I just went in and picked up a bunch of stuff that was new with tags, and this was one of the things, and they sold for $20. They've been sitting for maybe just a couple months. Here's the other pack of panties that sold. This was a 2-pack and they sold for $11. That's not a ton, but it's not too bad for 2 pairs of underwear. That probably only cost a couple dollars at Marshall's. And lastly was this Harry Potter sweater. Let's see, no, they didn't pay shipping. Let me see. They did not pay shipping. So this was like a super old item that I just hadn't gotten a chance to relist yet. I am going back and relisting some items, like I said, just like the dresses, where and then like if they have free shipping on eBay and Mercari, I'm adding shipping to them. This was just something that hadn't gotten that added yet, but it is what it is. What I profited, $1.61. Okay. And that is the last of eBay. On eBay, for the first week of September, we made a profit of $80.38. And lastly, we go to Mercari. We finally sold this backpack hike. It's like a hiking backpack that you can carry your kid in. And I can't remember what TC stands for, but 2.1, it's like it's a weight type of thing. So like how much it can carry, like what size of child. And so this was like a little bit of I think for like a toddler or something. And they retail for hundreds of dollars. And we found this at Goodwill for maybe like I think $8 or $9, and we wanted to take a chance on it. This did sell with free shipping, unfortunately. I had it listed for maybe like 85 or something. The lady kept sending offers, and finally I asked her, I said, "Where do you live? Because I want to check how much shipping is going to cost me." And she lived in Hawaii. I'm in North Carolina, so that's far away. And so I told her the lowest I could go would be $78 because I was going to end up having to pay about 30 to ship it out, and I think shipping did come out to like 28 something. So the only way that this was acceptable was that it was on Mercari, where I don't get charged fees for it. So if you just think about the fact that this sold for 78, we didn't get fees taken out. It cost us 28 to ship. That's 50 minus like the $8 that it cost. That was still good profit to be made. This Gymboree hat I just listed a few days ago sold for $9 plus shipping. And this was the other Barbie doll for my collection that sold. This sold for a pretty good amount, but the reason it was a decent sale price was because it was a gold label. And I'm not going to get into the listing and look it up, but there is like only a certain amount of gold labeled Barbies, like of this Cynthia Rowley. If it's a gold label, it means it's like a limited edition and they're only supposed to have been sold in like high retail stores. This was actually from a Marshall's. It had a Marshall's clearance tag on it when my mom bought it for me. And when I pulled all these Barbies out last year, it still had the sticker on it. She had paid $11, I think, for it. So this did sell for 55 plus shipping, and I was extremely happy for that. So our profit on Mercari was an even $100, which means that for the first week of September, we made a total profit between Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari of $357.68. 357 bucks. That is the highest amount that we have made in 1 week all year, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see what these next few weeks bring. I've really been slacking just because, like I said, we've been having a lot of family time with it being my youngest's first birthday. There's been several days I haven't gotten anything done as far as photographing, going through unlisted inventory and things like that. So I'm going to have to bust my butt these next few days so that I can make sure that these sales keep up. All right, well, I know that was a bit of a long video, but we did have a lot of sales. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.